I think it's beautifully paced. I thought Act 3 would have been dangerous. The way I started learning the role 3 years ago was to actually get Acts 1 and 2 under my belt. And I knew Act 3 was a Herculean task. Not only of the words, but also this endless melody that Wagner creates. There's nothing that's, when you start looking at it from a perspective of a musician in some way, that it's memorable, and you cannot set it in your mind. But then it's like any other opera, you know, once the score has been thrown across the music room, once you've been to your language coaches, once you've been to your wonderful repetiteurs, the conductors that you ask about the piece, the singers that have already performed it. And then this final polish that I have, and I had this in New York for 2 weeks with John Fisher, who leads the Welsh National Opera now through many, many different styles and repertoires. And this was a wonderful opera for the company actually to be involved with.
Yes, because it's got a huge chorus and it's got wonderful little parts, as well as your part, Hans Sachs, though, is in a sense the centre. Although it's a love story between Walter and Eva, and Magdalena and David, of course, is also a love story between you and Eva in the background, isn't there? The older man and the younger girl, plus this extraordinary idea of you having to arbitrate between convention and modern individuality in art. Is that something that appeals to you as an idea still? Is it still relevant, if you like?
Well, you mentioned the fact of the way he is with other characters, and you mentioned Eva, of course. That's one of the most beautiful scenes. And Sachs seems to have very thoughtful, probing monologues, and the wonderful orations at the end of Act 3 as well. But with Eva, there's this, you have the feeling that they've known each other for a while. He's seen her grow up, and you know, her father would have been very proud of that union, and she would have been very comfortable with Hans Sachs.
I imagine.
Think of his humanity, his
he is an all-encompassing figure
character.
in that
Everybody
sense.
in Nuremberg would have come to him for their problems, you know?
I think Wagner poured a lot of his sense, didn't he, of what a perfect artist should be, the mixture of words and music. Hans Sachs was a real person, after all, wasn't he?
Yes.
Who looked after words and music, but who obeyed conventions, but developed them in a modern way, and was sort of mature and wise. And the whole opera ends with everyone going "Heil" at you. It's quite an extraordinary moment, isn't it?
Well, of all the people in Nuremberg, I'm thinking is the most alive character there is.
We must let you rehearse. I know you've got to warm that great voice up. I'm incredibly excited to be presenting this for the BBC, and incredibly excited that it's your Hans Sachs that the world has been singing about itself. Thanks so much, Bryn Terfel.
Many thanks. Thank you very much.
Thanks.